All right, welcome in, you guys. How are you? I hope everybody's doing great today. Tonight we start Project Lighthouse. That is my spiritual business class. If you're interested in getting yourself out there and shining your light brighter, I'm going to teach you what I know about doing that. This is year 8 of the channel, and we've got a lot to share with you. So jump on in. We're going to be closing our registration pretty soon. Okay, I'm thinking about when this is posting. Yeah, pretty soon. So if you want to jump on, there's a link below. Let's see where we go tomorrow in Pathfinders. I'm going to be talking about the Enneagram personality types. We talked about it last week as it relates to the path of the yogi. But tomorrow we're going to talk about how our personalities are under stress and under growth and how we can get better at that just by awareness, just getting better at that. All right, let's see what's going on here for the Twin Flame Collective. I'm going to look at what's going on with the masculine and the feminine too. Some of the messages I've been getting, not really during my readings, but like in my own, I'm practicing mediumship kind of in the middle of the night, which seems like a good idea if I'm awake and I can't go back to sleep. And some of the messages that are really coming in are about paradigms that are shifting and in the world. And one of them is the paradigm of money, to be sure. Especially as it relates to power and control. So that is a big, typically a divine masculine or a masculine energy that is at work trying to become more loving, become more open to nuance. Okay. So there's something around that. And I feel like the divine feminine about there's something about the divine feminine getting more comfortable with receiving money for their skills and talents, which is one of the reasons I do my spiritual business class. It's not just about like, hey, you got to know your numbers, you got to understand money. It's really understanding why money doesn't flow. What's important to help it flow, where does money want to go, and how can the divine feminine archetype really be embracing the power of money in a way that is loving, that raises the vibration of money or resources, okay? And that helps balance the masculine. So this is one of the things that the divine feminine is really being asked to do right now is like you make choices yourself independently as a divine feminine to learn about receiving and to not receive things that are unhealthy, to not receive, to, put boundaries around things that are unhealthy, but then receive things that are healthy for you and know the difference. And if there has been some kind of toxicity in your own family growing up around money, you may be labeling certain things as unhealthy when that's really just a barrier to understanding. Okay, so let's take a look at the collective here. Embracing enthusiasm. Oh my, yes. Shout to the heavens with happiness. Answering the call. The time is now. Never more prescient than right this minute. Great adventure. Take a risk. Venture forward. 100%. And overcoming obstacles. You can overcome anything. I say this kind of often with Pathfinders that, once self-confidence is a muscle. Okay. Self-confidence is a muscle. It's something that has to be practiced, just like your intuition is a muscle. It must be practiced in order for when you are dysregulated, when you're in a very stressful situation, for you to be able to identify intuition and guidance versus fear and acting out versus, I don't know. But if you wait until something really hits the fan before you say, hey, I'm going to learn about intuition, you can't learn to ride a bicycle in a hurricane. I say it all the time. So there's a call coming in. There's incoming. Okay, incoming. There's a call coming in. Maybe some of you have been starting to embrace this enthusiasm and make the choices for joy. We are at an absolute tipping point on this planet. And if we're in the energy of fear or in the energy of, rage, hatred, low vibe stuff, then we're choosing that path if we're in the energy of joy and expansion and, acceptance and love, then we're choosing that path. I don't know if this is I was going to say the cool part of this. I'm not sure this is the cool part of this, but I want to say to you that no matter what you personally choose, and I will say to the divine feminine that the more you choose what I was talking about around some kind of topic like money, the more you choose love and acceptance and a new paradigm that is higher vibration, the more you choose that, the shorter the distance to the age of Aquarius, to the age of egalitarianism. Each one of us has to choose. The revolution is internal. Each one of us has to choose, and the more people, the more of us choose happiness, joy, and love, that tips the balance of light on this planet. That's what does it. Okay? It's not an external thing. It's not really about necessarily being external in like vengeance or anything like that, or even in revolution. The revolution is within. The revolution comes from aligning with happiness, joy, our worth, our value. And when you click into, and a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight in the spiritual business class is, finding your mission and purpose, because once you know why you're here on this planet, and it can be, as for me, it's about I'm here as a messenger. I love words. I tell stories. For you guys who are already in the spiritual business class, I sent a video discussing just this from Robert Greene, who wrote the book Mastery, which I would highly recommend to you. And this is about you understanding your own self. So the twin flame journey here is about the feminine answering the call to change the dynamic of how they feel about certain things, to put up boundaries to things that are unhealthy, not trying to control other people, but saying, hey, this isn't for me. Other people get to do what they want with that, but you can have this kind of experience. And as I've been talking about this week, I belong to a lot of Facebook groups, like women over 50 traveling alone or whatever it is. And the stories that they're so not even aware that they have any power. And it's just, I think it's one of those things that says to me, okay, this is why my discussion of astrology is about empowerment, using the energy. My discussion through all these readings is about how do I work with the energy, or how do I break down a barrier that has blocked me from love, or how do I do these things? And awareness or storytelling, and you get a resonance, is the first inkling of oh, hey, that might be for me. Oh, hey, that might be something I'm blocking. Oh, hey, that might be something I'm doing. And that's the first step. It's like pulling the string on the sweater. Okay. So let's keep going with the collective. What is happening here? Filling your heart with joy, expansive, finding gratitude every single day, finding things to love about yourself, being excited that you overcome some obstacle and you're like, you go, girl, take compliments. Okay. All of these things underneath. King of Pentacles. Oh, yes. The Three of Swords. Some of us are dealing with people who are holding on to an old paradigm around money, power, control, and they're feeling that it's coming out of their hands. They're not wrong, right? Pluto moving through Capricorn. Now it's in Aquarius. Now is when the things get cut off. Now is when those power structures get upended. Now is when all that happens. The Queen of Swords, seeing the future. There's a Five of Pentacles here, leaving people behind, manifesting. We talked about that yesterday today in the morning message, I guess. So there's something here about leaving people out in the cold who are trying to hold on to old paradigms. And this is not emotional. It's not. This is not emotional. This is about you saying, you know what, this is unhealthy for me, or this is something that in order for me to have this this type of life or have this type of adventure. I have to be honest about this situation and I need to walk away from it. It could be a love partnership, a marriage. It could be a business partnership. It could be a family member. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Lovers, wow. Ace of Swords, the Knight of Wands, Seven of Swords, Hermit. Holy cow. Two of Swords, and the outcome. Look at that. Turning the back on the old system or old situation, really seeing the lie, in how we have been doing things. You guys are the Hermit, you guys are the Magician, and saying, no, not doing that. So there's something here about the Lover's card is Gemini energy. We have the full moon in Gemini coming up on the 15th. Mercury goes direct in Sagittarius. So there is honesty coming. And you might be the one saying it, or you might be the one getting yourself free because of it, because of some truth that comes out. Some of you may be leaving people behind who are not aligning with the truths that are coming out and just saying, you know what? No, this is not for me. I am no longer aligning myself with an old paradigm that is crumbling. Okay, is crumbling. So what is this Ace of Swords? It could be different for each one of you, but I do see this Seven of Swords down here. There has been, it's not just like an inauthentic expression. It is a lie. Okay, it is a lie. Talk to me about this Ace of Swords. Give me more information about this. Wheel of Fortune, destiny. This is the time. The time is now. There's the moon card. Full moon in Gemini. Eight of Cups. This is the destined moment for you going on a new path. Queen of Pentacles. Taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, doing good things for yourself. Some of you are definitely ending a long-term marriage or a long-term relationship that has turned cold or distant or abusive even, okay? Some of you are really ending that and saying, this is, the time is now, okay? The time is now for me to answer this call. And this inauthenticity that I have been living cannot continue. It's almost like you might feel like, I don't have a choice here. You might feel that way. It doesn't mean that that's true. Well, no, it does. I just feel like you see it so clearly, like that big Ace of Swords. You see it so clearly. You see how other people are being sneaky and manipulative or whatever it is. So some of you are walking away from some kind of relationship that has really been blocking your spiritual ascension. Okay, so Divine Feminine energy. What's going on with the Divine Feminine? All right. Yep. There's the Five of Swords. That's manipulation, feeling manipulated. Eight of Wands. The Page of Wands. Seven of Pentacles. Judgment. Temperance. Wow. And the outcome is the Knight of Pentacles. What's underneath here? Five of Pentacles again. This is also, walking away from a marriage or a relationship that tried to make you feel less than. This is now about feeling and recognizing how manipulated I have been and really reclaiming your power, Divine Feminine, your worth and value. It's almost like, wow, okay, I'm just getting this. It's almost like all the relationships that are about devaluing the Divine Feminine are coming apart. At the seams. Like I said, these could be romantic relationships. These could be family relationships. It really isn't. It's what it is it's old paradigms trying to hold on to the energy of a Divine Feminine being pushed down. When those archetypes are present, those are the things that are going to become upended. Because the Divine Feminine is seeking to embrace enthusiasm, to answer the call, to be in their mission and purpose. I hear it every single day from you guys. This is really the time. Destiny calling. Okay, destiny's calling. And I feel like this full moon in Gemini, because when Mercury's in retrograde, this is like especially in Sagittarius. What belief systems, Sagittarius, what belief systems have you swallowed hook, line, and sinker? Have come from your family system, or have come from, where you grew up, how you grew up, whatever it is, have you just assumed are true about you and about diminishing your worth and value in the world? Where are you with that? Because I feel like some of you are like, wow, I'm getting tons of downloads now, 8 of Wands, that I have been manipulated and I'm not going to take it anymore. So this Page of Wands is getting inspired. All right, getting inspired. I feel like there's some time here. There's some time here that has to do with waking up. This is going to be, I don't know, this is going to be a slow well, yeah, because the outcome is the Knight of Pentacles. I almost feel like there's some kind of tangible experience that this waking up is going to bring into your life, because Archangel Michael is here and Gabriel. Like, they're waking you up. They're saying, hey, we see that you're now recognizing the manipulation, or the way you've been held down, or the way you haven't been honored. And we're kind of really changing your worldview. This is going to be a big shift for a lot of people. And that's going to sort of open up this divine feminine, which in turn will balance the masculine energy. The masculine energy that's lost right now, that feels like they don't know who they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to do or anything like that. Like, part of me is kind of like, why is that? Why is that? Why are we having this experience right now with that? So what is going on with the divine masculine, please? I'm going to shuffle this way. All right. 7 of Cups underneath for them, for the divine masculine. And this is not really about gender. This is, I keep saying that. I want you to hear me on this. This is not about gender. This is about the energetic expression of masculinity on the planet. And I hear a lot of people saying toxic masculinity. I have said those words, but I read something this morning that really made a lot of sense to me, that there's no such thing as toxic masculinity, because masculinity in and of itself is about having all of these qualities of dynamism and action and even protection and all kinds of stuff. The most masculine is being able to control their Mars. That's what makes someone a mature masculine, is being able to control their Mars and channel that energy for good and not evil, right? Channel that energy for positive growth, channel that energy for accelerating their lives or whatever it is. But self-control is a very masculine quality. And if that seems out of balance right now to me, I don't know about you, but I feel like, yes, there's transformation going on. The Death card showing up, 10 of Pentacles, an old school, an old way of looking at money for sure is one of the paradigms, but it doesn't have to be all about the money. It has to be about like a traditional system. Okay. Yes, that's traditional. Again, traditional system. There's Taurus, especially as it's around resources. I see the masculine losing their grip on a traditional system that gave them resources without, not without, let's see, that delivered resources that were not based in this other paradigm that we're talking about with the divine feminine around, joy and love and all of that. There's an old paradigm of whatever it is, fill in the blank for your own divine masculine, that like money it's hard to get. Most people don't have it. I've never been able to make enough money. All of these sort of stories you have in your head about money and that are blocking you is an obstacle from becoming, from being able to have it just flow as a resource. So it's not really a thing. It's not about like greed or anything like that, but it is about this resource that has a story to it in your body. And that's the thing that's dying here. So the masculine is going to be the embodiment of that, right? The hoarding of resources or anything like that is going to be not seen as cool. Okay. There's something of, that one of the best qualities of masculinity is about loving protection. And that is a nice quality. And, you have masculine in you too, masculine and feminine. So, when somebody needs your help or whatever like that, and you can feel yourself becoming that, protective kind of energy of like, I'm going to do something to help this person. That's Mars energy. That is masculine. We got Mars in retrograde right now. And it's going to go back through Leo, which is like kind of childlike energy. Could be childish in a negative expression, and back into Cancer, protective, caring, nurturing, Mars. Okay, so that is the feminine changing their perspective and putting down boundaries and standing up for themselves and knowing that resources flow to them and knowing that this is the time. That is going to be celebrated, I feel, by the masculine. Here's the Three of Swords again for the masculine, the Knight of Swords, and the Five of Wands. So there's a lot of rage going on here. And I almost feel like there's something about the old way doesn't work anymore for me. The old way for masculine, the old way doesn't work anymore. And then there's massive conflict. So we have Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands. We don't have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is about regret, about loss and regret. But this feels to me like there's a traditional paradigm that the masculine is holding on to, and they don't really know what any other way. And so it has to sort of come from a creative internal drama with Mars, right? Mars is now in retrograde. Mars is internal, and there's something furious with this Knight of Swords, furious that like, it's got to be the old paradigm. It's got to be the old way. It's got to be the old way. And that's not it anymore. And there's something happening in the world that is going to restrict that old paradigm. And that's going to be angry. What does this have to do with love? This is about the masculine, the feminine embracing a new paradigm and raising the vibe on the planet. We are at a tipping point. The masculine being able to then get out of their old paradigm to see new paradigms. This is what we're talking about, walking toward ascension, walking toward Age of Aquarius union. The time is now. Okay, the time is now. So I'm going to go deeper into this reading. I will look at the blocks of the feminine, the blocks of the masculine. Let's look at what we don't see coming. Let's get the next 30 days. Let's see how this plays out. I will say to you that right away, the truth that's coming out with the full moon in Gemini is going to be earth-shattering, life-changing, paradigm shifting. All right. If you want to continue, the link is below. I will see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.